A lot of people believe that once physical therapy starts, recovery becomes straightforward. You go to therapy, you do your exercises, you follow instructions, you attend appointments, and because you are doing what you were told to do, it feels reasonable to assume that the recovery process is now mostly under control. That expectation makes sense. When you are following instructions, recovery should feel like it is under control. That sounds logical, but it misses something important because physical therapy is only a small part of your week. The majority of your recovery happens somewhere else. It happens at home. It happens when your shoulder feels different than it did yesterday. It happens when an unexpected movement makes you wonder whether you did something wrong. It happens during the hundreds of moments between appointments when you have to decide what a symptom actually means. It happens when your therapist is not there. It happens when your surgeon is not there. And that is exactly where recovery gets tricky. I'm Dr. Dan, an orthopedic surgeon specializing in shoulders. Now, this is where people can quietly lose progress. But progress can quietly drift when you do not have guidance for the decisions that happen between appointments. If you do not understand this phase, you can make the wrong adjustment at the wrong time. That is why I created the Shoulder Recovery Guide. It's a free resource. You will find a link to it in the description below. One of the most common misconceptions I see is the belief that physical therapy provides all the guidance a patient needs. To be clear, physical therapy is incredibly valuable. It plays an important role in recovery. This is not an argument against PT. This is an explanation of why PT alone cannot answer every question that recovery creates, because recovery is not simply an exercise problem. Recovery is a decision problem, and most of those decisions happen outside therapy. What most patients are missing is not more information. It is a way to evaluate the information they already have. Exercises matter, but recovery also requires a way to interpret change and decide what to do next. A framework for making decisions when recovery becomes uncertain. And the reason I eventually created the shoulder recovery method is because I kept seeing the same problem. Patients were not struggling because they lacked information. They were struggling because they lacked a process for interpreting what recovery was telling them. Over the past 20 years, I have treated thousands of shoulder patients, and one pattern appears over and over again. Patients often know what to do. What they struggle with is knowing how to interpret what happens afterward. What does a framework actually look like? When something changes during recovery, I encourage patients to ask 4 simple questions. What changed? When did it change? What happened before it changed? Those questions help you understand the pattern instead of reacting to a single moment. And is the overall pattern improving, worsening, or staying the same? Those 4 questions sound simple, but they do something incredibly important. They slow the decision-making process down. Instead of immediately assuming damage or immediately assuming everything is fine, they create space to observe before reacting. Now let's look at a common example. You attend therapy on Tuesday. Everything seems fine. By Wednesday morning, your shoulder feels noticeably more sore. Now what? Do you stop moving completely? Do you keep doing exactly the same thing? Or do you make a careful adjustment and watch the pattern? Notice something. That question is not answered by the exercise sheet. The exercise sheet tells you what exercises exist. An exercise list can guide movement, but it cannot interpret every response your shoulder has. And when people lack a framework for interpretation, they start guessing. Some assume soreness means damage. Some assume soreness means progress. Some stop everything. Others push harder. The problem is not effort. The problem is interpretation. Most recovery mistakes happen when people skip the observation step and jump straight to conclusions. People rarely make one big mistake. They make a series of small decisions without clear guidance, and recovery usually does not fall apart all at once. It drifts. This happens between appointments when no one is watching recovery moment by moment. Your surgeon may be helping, your therapist may be helping, but neither one can realistically be there for every decision recovery creates. The challenge becomes even more complicated because daily life is messy. The difficult decisions are not confined to therapy. They happen in the middle of ordinary daily life. Imagine you are getting dressed. Your shirt catches slightly as you pull it over your arm. You feel a brief pull. Nothing dramatic, nothing obvious, but now the questions begin. Was that okay? Did I do too much? Should I change something? Should I worry? Again, this is not really an exercise question. It is a decision question. Most people do not have a consistent way to judge what that moment means, and that uncertainty creates consequences, not dramatic failure, something quieter. You become more cautious. You start second guessing yourself. You analyze every sensation. You replay movements in your mind. Recovery starts consuming more mental energy than it should. That uncertainty creates fatigue, not physical fatigue, decision fatigue. And decision fatigue often leads to reactive recovery. Something changes, you react, something else changes, you react again. That constant need to interpret and react creates a different kind of exhaustion, decision fatigue. Instead of following a process, you begin chasing symptoms. The result is often inconsistency. Patients often become protective. They move differently. They guard the shoulder. They create new sources of discomfort that were never part of the original problem. Confidence drops. Now they are dealing with multiple concerns instead of one. And this happens far more often than most people realize. Not because patients are careless, not because they are ignoring instructions, because they are trying to solve situations that instructions were never designed to solve. Most people know the rules, but they do not know how to apply those rules when recovery becomes complicated. And recovery always becomes complicated, not because something is wrong, because healing happens in real life. Real life includes poor sleep, busy days, unexpected movements, family responsibilities, work obligations, travel, stress, distractions. Healing does not happen in a controlled environment. It unfolds inside the unpredictability of real life. None of those situations fit neatly onto an exercise handout. That is why patients often feel confused despite doing everything correctly. They think they need more effort. Usually that is not the problem. They think they need more exercises. Usually that is not the problem either. Often, what they need is a better way to think through the situations recovery creates, a repeatable process, a framework, a way to ask better questions before making adjustments, because adjustments happen constantly. The question is whether those adjustments are intentional or reactive. The patients who navigate recovery most effectively are not necessarily the patients who work the hardest. They are often the patients who learn how to interpret what is happening before they react to it. The most effective patients learn to understand what is happening before they decide how to respond. That skill matters because recovery is not simply about movement. It is about decision making. It is about understanding when to monitor, when to pause, when to adjust, when to stay calm, when to ask for help, and perhaps most importantly, when not to turn every sensation into a crisis. The shoulder recovery method was built around this exact problem. Most patients are not struggling because they lack effort. They are struggling because recovery keeps presenting situations that nobody taught them how to interpret. The goal is not to create dependence. The goal is to give you a repeatable way to think through recovery when uncertainty shows up. What patients need is a repeatable process they can use whenever uncertainty appears. Because recovery is not just about exercises, it is about understanding what to do when something changes. What to monitor, what deserves caution, and what is simply part of the normal healing process. PT is an important part of recovery, but PT is not your recovery system. Your recovery system is the way you interpret, evaluate, and respond to the hundreds of small decisions that happen during the rest of the week. That is where outcomes quietly improve or quietly drift. And that is why understanding the gap between appointments matters more than most people realize. The hours between appointments are where your recovery system is tested most. If you want to understand how seemingly small recovery mistakes can create larger problems over time, watch my video. Top 5 shoulder rehab mistakes, 50 plus must avoid. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next Thursday.